my name's Mary, and today we're going to talk about the yarn over method of short rows. This method is a lot like wrap and turn short rows, except that you'll be making the wrap independently as a yarn over, and then working it together with its adjacent stitch to resolve the short row turn later. Here I have a swatch worked up in one color, and I'm going to work the short rows in a contrasting color to help them stand out. I'm going to join in my contrasting yarn really quick. So on right side rows, you will work to the turning point indicated in your pattern. And here for this example, I'm going to work until there are 5 stitches remaining in the row. So here I've got 5 stitches left on my left needle. And then I'm going to turn the work so that the wrong side is facing. And then you want to bring the working yarn to the back of the work between your needles and then forward over the right needle to make a yarn over. So I'll show that motion again. So it's at the back of the work, and you can kind of put your right needle on top of the working yarn like that, and then bring it back over. And then you will purl back the other way. Sometimes you have to kind of hold the yarn on the right needle to keep the yarn over on there. I have to use my index finger for that, but then you can just go ahead and start purling back the other way. So now I'm going to work until there are 5 stitches from the end on the other side. And it's important to note here that the yarn over that is created at the turn point does not count as a stitch, because that's actually going to get decreased out when you're done with the short rows. So you're going to work here on this example, I'm going to work until there's 5 stitches from the end. Just got a couple more. And then I'm going to turn my work. Then I'm going to bring the working yarn to the front in between the needles. And then bring the yarn over the right needle, like that. So you have the yarn in the front, and then once again, you can just kind of put the right needle on top of the working yarn and bring it over. And then start knitting back the other direction, making sure to snug it as you go. There you've created another yarn over. I'll work a couple more short rows here to illustrate again. So we're going to do another right side. Work to your turning point. Again, 5 stitches from the last yarn over here on my example. So here we've got 5 stitches and then the yarn over that we formed. So we're going to turn the work, bring the working yarn to the back, and then bring it over the right needle, and then purl back the other way. We're going to purl to our turning point on the wrong side. Now here we've got 5 stitches before the last yarn over we created on the wrong side. So I'm going to turn the work, bring the yarn to the front, and then over the right needle, and then knit back the other way. You can already see some fabric building up with more length in the center than the outside, where we've worked more rows. When it's time to come back and work back across the whole row again and resolve the short row turns, on right side rows, you'll work until you encounter a yarn over. So I'm going to work to the first one, or the most recent right side one that we made. So here's that yarn over. And then you're just going to knit it together with the next stitch on the left needle. So just very simply do a knit 2 together between the next stitch and the yarn over. So there you have that resolved short row turn. Then you'll keep going, and when you reach the next one, you'll work it again as a knit 2 together. So we have our next yarn over. I'm just going to knit that together with the next stitch. There you go. On wrong side rows, you'll purl until you reach a yarn over. So I'm going to purl along with my garter stitch selvage. So here I've purled until the first yarn over that's remaining on the left needle. You're going to want to slip, slip, purl that yarn over with the next stitch on the left needle so that it's placed on the wrong side of the work. So a slip, slip, purl, you slip the yarn over to the right needle knitwise, and then the next stitch to the right needle knitwise. And then you're going to transfer those stitches back to the left needle in their new orientation. And then you're going to purl them through the back loop together. So this is a little fiddly maneuver, but it's really helpful to keep everything neat. So now we've slip, slip, purled the yarn over together with its neighboring stitch. Then you work until the next one. And then do the slip, slip, purl. And you got that worked together. And here you can see the row back together with the short row gaps closed. I'm going to tame all of my yarns here. And the original stitch count restored. So I'm going to work a couple more rows in the main color to show you how the fabric will look afterward. So now you can see this little wedge of fabric that we've created in the middle that is really neat, and all the short row gaps are closed. It's important to note that if you're working short rows on a circular project, after you resume working in the round, you can hide the yarn overs pretty similarly. For a yarn over that was made after a right side row, you'll still knit the yarn over together with its first unworked stitch on the left needle after it, just like we did for the ones on here. However, for a yarn over that was made after a wrong side row, you'll work to the stitch before the yarn over and then slip, slip, knit that stitch together with the yarn over to make sure that it lands on the wrong side. This method can be super easily substituted for wrap and turn short rows in other patterns. You won't need to do any adaptation. Simply work to the point where the instructions tell you to wrap and turn, but then you'll turn and make a yarn over instead. If you're substituting for German short rows, you'll want to work to one stitch less than the instructions indicate before working the turn and yarn over. And there you have it, yarn over short rows. Happy knitting.